Hello again. How's it going? Okay. So I already have the Delta Writer stuff or Delta Serializer stuff, the generation done and whatnot. I need to add a few things to Fishnet for it, and then I need to register the serializers with Fishnet, which shouldn't be too difficult at all, really. So all I got to do here is first open up a Fishnet project, or actually just a Unity project more than anything. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. And the reason is, you'll notice here we have these generated files, but these are just generated files and methods, but nothing really points to them yet. So what I need to do is I'm just going to go to something I have over here. Trying to remember what it's called. I think it's called initialize on load. And I'm just trying to. I'm just going to do a search. Wow. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm pretty sure it's called initialize on load, like you can see here, but I need the exact full path of it, which appears to be, I assume it's Unity engine.initialize on load. Oh, Unity editor. That's not right. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so it's not initialize on load. It's not initialize on load. Maybe it's this. Yeah. Geez, what the heck is it called? Like, I never used this. I know it's called initialize on something, and I use it for other bits of my code gen. Let me just do that. Drawing a total blank on it. Not something I really have to touch all that often. So I'm opening up one of my tools here. Just gonna load it real quick. Okay. Bring it on over. And let's see what we got here. Now I need to go to one of my projects, which I know you can't see what I'm doing here. Give me 1 second to find it. Okay, so let's see. I should have some generated stuff on this, I imagine. Okay, it's runtime initialize on load method. That's why it wasn't showing in the results. Okay, so this is what I need, and I'm pretty sure this is just a Unity engine dot. Yeah, so I need that, and I'm going to add that to my classes here that are generated. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. It's going to be super easy. I'm going to get a script open here that's used for code building, and create public static class, etc. These are just helper things to basically write code using Roslyn. Public static string. I use my convention here. Create runtime initialize on load method string method name. Okay, so super easy here. All I need to basically do is return this problem is I need to put code in between this here. So I need to actually create like the header of it. Not really a big deal. I do it somewhere else. I'm just trying to see where I actually do that. So let's see, because I want my code to be consistent and not really all over the place, or at least the approaches I take. So let's find out where that is. Generating class name. Okay. So it looks like, yeah, so I'm just doing this, and looks like I'm outputting the footer. The footer is probably just a closing bracket. Oh, because of namespace optional. Okay, but yeah, it's just basically a closing bracket. So I'm gonna go down here. What is this called? Create public static class. Yeah. Create public. I need to do the output again. Okay, so now I need to do really is just string builder.clear, string builder.append line. And I need to use the full name of this, which is actually not what you see here, but I have something for this. This is fishnet constants. I have like a unity constant. Let me just copy this. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted. Let me copy this file, paste, and it's going to be called unity constants. Oh, well, thank you. I hope to have a nice day as well. Honestly, I didn't sleep as much as I wanted to, but how it is. Okay, unity constants. This is going to be under public const string unity engine namespace equals unity engine. Yeah, I mean that's kind of obvious, but having a constant still makes it really easy to do. You'll see why in a second. If you haven't seen these before, it'll make more sense in a second. Region attributes and region public const string runtime initialize on load method. Is that right? Runtime initialize on load method. Yes. Okay. This is the full name, which means it's going to include the namespace as well. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you drop in. Hope your game's doing well. I've been working on it for a really long time. I don't know if I said something, but I watched some of the more recent gameplay, and I noticed you changed the camera a bit, and it did look a lot more refreshing. Way easier to follow. So here I'm going to do Unity engine namespace dot, and it's just this here, paste, and it's an attribute, so you have to put the attribute, because if you actually go to it here, I think it shows it if you hover over it. Yeah, so you can see runtime initialize on load method attribute. All right, so that's basically just going to create the code for this attribute. I know the comments are kind of obvious, but some of them can get confusing, like just how it can get confusing, basically, if you have a lot of things that are similar. So even though the comments are fairly simple, or the XML, it can help. So the first thing we're going to do is append line. We need to add the little bracket thing there, and we need to add unity constants dot runtime initialize onload method name and then a closing bracket. And now I just need to add the squiggle. I have to call it the squiggle. And footer equals closing squiggle. Didn't see that one coming. Okay. Return string builder dot toString. All right, that should be it for creating that method. And that's going to basically create a method like this. Oh no, it's not even close. I forgot so many things. My bad. Got ahead of myself. Public. Oh, I need an indent too. There needs to be an indent, I imagine. I don't know if I have it up here. I don't, but that's because it's the class and it automatically I have it hard coded in. There needs to be an indent. Probably indent's going to be 1, but so pen line indent of indent. And again, indent, and this should be a pen line. There we go. And footer is going to be, I'm going to have to fix that in a second because that needs the indent too. Right, so all I got to do is public void method name. That should be it. All right, so now what this should look like is this. Probably gonna get some errors because this is not obviously in the right section, but it's going to generate this as the what's returned, and this is going to be output as the footer, so that I can just put stuff in between there. And actually, it's going to have going to actually say Unity. Oh, you know what? So this might be wrong, how I have the constant, because it's going to put this, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a problem. So I need to drop off the attribute part of it. So let me go back to that real quick. Not this one though, but this one. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. And do it like that. And I'm going to actually simplify this a little bit more. There we go. All right, so we should be able to test this out here in a second. So I now need to go to the Delta, not that, Delta writer down here. And I'm going to, this is where I create the public class, and this is where I add in all of the generated methods right here. So this is where I'm going to do the other bits. I'm going to do string builder. Let's call it initialize on load builder, or SB, equals new. And I'm going to do, I don't really necessarily need to have output the footer because I know it's just going to be a closing squiggly, but for the sake of code consistency, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do initialize on load SB dot append. I don't know if it needs to be append line or append. I'm gonna say append because I do the append lines. It doesn't really matter. It's just. But okay, so we're going to append the code builder dot create this here, and the method name doesn't really matter. Indent is going to be 1. Method name is going to be initialize serializers, and out string initialize on load footer. All right, so this is going to add, well, it's not going to actually add the method just yet. We're basically just storing in a string builder. What we're going to do though is, this is where we go through every single serializer that we generated, and this is where it's basically writing it to this file here. So that's what's going on here, but this is just kind of test code. This isn't a full bit, but this would be a proof of concept to show it's working. So I'm going to do initialize on load dot append line do indenting. Again, it's just really testing some kind of hard coding stuff. Test. And then we need to put in, let's see, DSM dot type full name. That's fine. I don't really need more than that. Okay. So this is going to add, we're going to have our method, our initialize on load method. And then this is going to, inside the body of that, it's going to put this line for every single generated method, basically just to see that it's recognizing it. And then at the end here, we're going to do initialize on load SB dot append line footer. And now we're just going to append this to the SB. All right, let's fire it up, see what happens. Oh, errors. Okay, so I messed up somewhere. Looks like I probably forgot a bracket or something. Not a big deal. Interesting. Okay. Let me see what went wrong there. Oh, okay. My bad. Try again. Oh, it doesn't recognize Unity Engine. That's fine. Okay, and also it says it has to be a static class, which is, yeah, I knew that. Got to put it in there. So yeah, it's not recognizing Unity Engine, but that's normal. This isn't inside Unity. And this is our test code, and the indent is wrong. It should be 2 indents. So that's easy fix, though. I just need to go over here and just, where did I, here we go, 2. And that should be 3. Let me just go back to the code builder again. All right. Still gonna get the Unity error. That's fine though. There we go. That's basically what we want. All I have to do is just make a method to register these two, which is very easy to do. So I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna finalize this code before I go too crazy. So let's go ahead and do that. Go back to this, and I'm gonna do const int initialize load. Think about just dropping this in another method because it's kind of it's kind of convoluting my code here. So let me just do this. Well, at the very least, I'm going to do void add to initialize on load bring text. I'm gonna do a see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use that. So let's just do. We'll see here, because that's specified down there, but I'm going to be applying it towards a string builder up here. And you can't reference a variable after the line, but being a constant, I don't know if that still applies. Okay. It does not still apply, which is great. I kind of figured, makes sense, but wasn't 100% sure. I'm just going to put this in a whole new I'm going to do it later, but I'm going to put it in a whole new method later. So let's go ahead and just do this. Okay, so I'm going to take this here. Doesn't have to really be a constant because the scope doesn't matter in this sense, but there we go. Put it down there. Constants are your friend when you're working in CodeGen. It doesn't matter if it's like IL CodeGen or Roslyn. Constants are your absolute friend. Just shorten this a little bit, like I did with the string builder. And this too. Hey, how's it going? Alright, so as I said, it didn't recognize the Unity engine namespace. But that's why I'm doing basically like pseudo stuff for this. It's supposed to be formatted like this. I hate it. I hate it when it does it like the other way. It's just the default settings I have, but I like the space. Okay. This I actually need to do namespace Unity engine public class run called again runtime initialize on load attribute. This is an attribute and that's all I need from it. I just need it to recognize this so I don't get that error. Build. What? Does not exist in namespace Unity engine. Are you missing? Oh, that's the attribute. Okay, I think I broke something. Well, it's never really working right to begin with, but Let me do this real quick and see if this works. Okay, so that works. Not recognizing. Where is this? This is under the assembly C#, which has a reference to fishnet. Yeah. Why is it not seeing this? I'm not sure why it's not like picking that up. Am I missing something obvious? Sure I am. Oh, what is it? Like, it's recognizing it should be an attribute. It's looking for it. It just doesn't see that. This is where having JetBrains would probably be handy, because I'm pretty sure it would pick this up. You don't have to have the using if you specify the full type, hence do that. I'm gonna see something. Maybe I made a typo. Oh, I did make a typo. Oh, yep, that's what it was. Forgot the method. There we go. There we go. No more errors. Great. It's still gonna show white because Visual Studio kind of sucks that way, but working. Now I need to go over the fishnet, and I actually have. No, what did I change? I need to unchange it right now. Okay, unchange. Back, let it compile. And now I need a kind of a template here. I'm going to copy this and just do generic delta writer. Okay, so I need that right. It's going to be T and then T. Same thing here. Okay, well, that's not accurate anymore. I'm going to have to work on that later. I'm gonna have to come back to that bit. That's fine. It's not really a big deal. It's just a feature I have to set up to use for new Roslyn stuff. So I'm gonna take this here and go over to this and add it in. Add new item, generic delta writer. Now, everything you see here on this is not part of the actual fishnet. Like, if this is not a fishnet reference, this is just basically the same code, but in a mock assembly, so that I can use it from this here, my assembly C#, which is my quote-unquote user code. This is my test environment. If I drop in the actual fishnet project, it's going to be a pain in the butt because there's going to be errors about missing namespaces and whatnot, since this is not inside Unity. So back to this, I don't need that. That's fine. don't need that in this sense. I actually don't even need the logic here. This is just all I need. Let's go back to here. I don't have any generated files in that one. Let's go to fishnet runtime. Should be under serializing generated. I know I have some here. Okay, so I'm gonna go serialize once, and this is all I basically got to do. I'm going to go over to. I'm gonna hard code it real quick, but just for testing, and then I'm gonna put it in proper. All right, so I need to do string call line equals generic writer and going to be dsm dot type full name closing bracket dot set right, and I'm going to do call line plus equals I have the actual item dot value method. Okay, it should be in the DSM too. Yeah, okay. And that should more or less it. I just need to do the closing brackets. And now I just need to append this. All right, let's see if that works. Hey, Spybot. Oh, it's supposed to be generic delta writers, and there's other errors here as well. I think I forgot. I'll look at the code, see what it looks like once I build it. Okay, well, no indenting, that's one thing. Doesn't affect the output at all, but it's gonna drive me nuts. So let me let me do that real quick. You know what? Because it's totally not gonna do it one more time, so it's lined up. Even though it's hard coded, I'm gonna rewrite it anyway. There we go. So it has an extra thing on there. That's why it's complaining. I didn't make a new action. Whoops. Okay. So going back to this, equals new action writer, and it's going to be the type full name again. And I'm going to close that off, and then the bracket, and I think that will fix it. Okay, well, it kind of fixed it. It's oh, did that just blow up my files? Where? Excuse me. Oh, okay. Look at this real quick. Should be. Oh, because of the options. That's why. Forgot all about that. I guess it will need that. Okay, so let's go over to this here, and delta serializer option. Okay, Should fix it. No overload, matches delegate action. Forgot to put it in here. Hard coded again. Don't do this, but for testing it, make sure it's working first. You know, it's supposed to be yeah, it's supposed to be the type and then has the wrong return type. I screw up. Action is not a function. Comma's there. Oh. It is a function. The serializer is a method or a function, a method that returns a value. Yeah. Okay. Forgot all about that. These return true if they are written, basically, or if there is change. That's why those are like that, a little bit different than what we've, their previous serializers. So this is still under the write one, so I want to actually go over the read one here, which where did you go? I must have opened it up over here. It needs to be a function instead of an action. Let's go to this. And that needs to be using the function, not the action. Oh, you're kidding me. What the hell am I missing? You could stop closing my generated files, please. Writer, first entry, second entry. The lack of space is really messing. First entry, second entry. Delta serializer option. Doesn't match the delegate. So did I mess up the delegate somewhere? for the right type. Taking in the writer. That. Wonder if that's why. I don't think it is, but it should be the writer full name. We'll see. Yeah, but I'm missing something again. Something is just not right. Is it though? It should be, of course, function because it returns a value, and this part's irrelevant because it's not used right now. That's going to actually be used by Fishnet and not the code gen per se. That's beta function has to include the reader or writer, and the type. This is for a standard read one. We go to the delta one. I don't know if we have the delta. No, I don't have that. This is a dumb question, but once someone moving something like a sync list, and you're not actually no, you have to initialize it in the variable created. Why though? Why is that a problem? There might be a solution for whatever you're trying to do. All right. So this doesn't have that end option, which is fine because it doesn't exist in Fishnet yet. Don't see what I'm missing. And I don't know if it's just a code gen being funny or if there's like an actual problem. I don't think this matters. Like, this should not be an issue. Okay. So it doesn't match the delegate writer, my thing A, my thing B. Delta serializer option. Can you tell me why it doesn't match? What the heck, dude? Okay. Because the way how I'm coding visuals, there's no way for me to do it on the new ones. So you're trying to add in custom options, like custom initialization options, or are you just trying to initialize it with defaults? I honestly don't know what's going on with it. a Boolean, and it has the option. I mean, do you think it matters with optional? I don't think it does. I'm sorry. Yes, you're looking to just initialize it with default values, or yes, you want to initialize it with custom values. I don't know if that's the issue. I don't think you can have optional. Let me look, because this is something I'm not actually sure about. Optional function parameter. This isn't helping. I'm looking at documentation, it's just showing them in methods, which I know. I don't think they can be optional in functions. You should just be able to do new, and if you do new, it's a structure. So it's going to use. But you're saying you can't initialize it at all. You're probably getting a null reference exception on the sync var or sync list or whatever it is. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know it's possible because lots of people use visual scripting, and that would be this is the first time I've heard of it. I would ask somebody like Welfare Check. They probably know. They use visual scripting. I don't know why this is being the way it is, but I'm going to ignore it and just finalize this because I can always correct it later, and it'd be really easy to correct. So I do need to add in this to the actual fishnet though. Let me do that. And it's under serializing. Oh, my bad. It is delta serializer option. Delta going in the fishnet. Well, version 3 was completely different. I know there's got to be a way to do it, but I don't know really much about visual scripting. I would ask somebody in the server that does visual scripting. I know for sure Welfare Check does, and they'll probably know. All right, so now I can go ahead and go to this here and add that in. All right, and I'm gonna have to add that into here. Oh, this actually has to be a function too. Oh, I need to update this. All right, perfect. Perfect, except it's not working for CodeGen for whatever reason. I'm just gonna copy this again just to. You know what I could do though? I have an idea. Might give me more insight to what I'm doing wrong here. Going to take this and get rid of this. I'll keep the other part up top even though it's not used. Well, the thing is sync list and other sync objects have always initialized the same even in version 3, like sync dictionary, sync hashtag, etc. Those have all been the same even in version 3. syncvar was the only one that was different. So if you're using the other sync types, you should be able to use syncvar. It's the same. Now I don't know if they had, without looking, I don't know if they had the initialization options in version 3. They might not have. No, they did not, I don't think, because I believe they were inside the attribute instead. So that might be what's different. There's now a... I don't think there's just a new that doesn't actually pass in anything. I'm not 100% sure. So you probably want to look for... Let me actually show you since you're here. And again, I don't really know much about visual scripting, but one, if you want to update permissions or any of this stuff, you can do all of this in Awake and it'll work, or you can do it in the initializer. So let's see what we got here. It's going to be up somewhere. Constructors. Here we go. This is the constructor now. Looks like there is a regular one, and it just uses the default. So you should be able to just do new like before, even like you were on sync list and whatnot. It shouldn't be an issue. All right, so I got this now. I'm just gonna rebuild this, and I'm sure it's going to error. That's fine. All right, so I'm gonna go over here to my code generation, and I'm gonna take this and go back to this. And I'm just gonna do a whole nother thing here. My custom namespace and public class to register. Right, public void register. All right. All right, so it doesn't recognize this, of course. So I'm gonna have to actually copy this stuff. Yeah, that is unusual. I'm honestly not sure about that. I'm sorry. I knew more about visual scripting. And even then, it's probably different per visual scripting thing or application. My thing A is what I'm doing. Take this. Go down here. I'm gonna rename this to client assembly. And I don't need the my thing B. I don't actually need any of the variables. All right. Now I just need the right method that was generated. Or at least I just need the title of it. And it is a static. It could also be a static class. Just to make it basically be just like it is in the CodeGen. All right. What? Oh. There we go. Okay, so that says it does not exist. It does not exist. There we go. All right, so we got the same error. So that is helpful, I suppose. Name can be set. All right, let's see if this. Okay, so I wonder if it is the optional. I'm gonna be surprised if it is. All right, so it's not the optional. I'm gonna keep that out just to make sure. I'm gonna see if it's this, which is probably not. It's all grayed out. Should not be the issue. I'm going to remove all this as well. Okay, still not working as expected. Why do you think that's not working though? Looks, I can tell, it looks fine. I'm gonna drop off this bit and see what happens. Okay. And I am missing something so freaking obvious. I'm telling you, it's something so dumb. Here we go. Well, that's for a custom. Looking for a generated one. Gotta be a generated one in here somewhere. Here we go. So it's just referencing it itself, which it shouldn't need to do, but I'll try that. I didn't think that was the case. So new function. Oh. 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 Okay. I think I see what's going on there. Go back to quick. I totally forgot about that. The return, I believe it has to be the second parameter. Or the last parameter. Look at my generated reader quick. Or generic reader. Yeah, so duh. I told you guys I was running on low sleep here. I think the return type has to be at the end. This isn't actually returning T, it's returning Boolean. You guys have heard me say a million times, don't code while tired. This is why. 100% why. I'm gonna do my deletes here. That was it. So close yet so far. Okay. Let me go ahead and undo all this real quick since I got it here. I'm going to do the system dot boolean up here. Return type is always boolean. Yep, that's all it was. Okay. I'd like a good time to just go ahead and take a break after this and get some R&R and gardening, or kind of late in the day to sleep. It's like 2 p.m. So, you know what kept me up too? I woke up, I slept fine. I woke up in the middle of the night and a code problem I was working on popped into my head. And I stayed up like 2 hours trying to think of how to solve that, which of course I got nowhere because it was, 3 a.m. or whatever. But yeah, that's extra annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this though, and I think I have native types in here. Native constants dot, yeah. All right, let's try this again. Okay, well, it's probably something. Did I update this one? I didn't. That's fine. All right, so I just need to do this. There we go. Hey, there we go. Perfect. 30 something minutes later. So I'm gonna finalize this and probably just take off for, not for the day. I'm probably gonna do more of this later. I don't know if I'll stream it. Probably not. But yeah. I just saw in chatting. Give me 1 sec. I just need to check some messages real quick. All right. Let's see. Just thinking how I can actually make this better. So let's go to my code builder. And yeah, none of these have comments except that one, I guess. I need to work on that. Public static string create. Create function. I guess that's all I need. So let's see, string. No, it's gonna be params string. This is going to be the types, and then string return type, which is going to give me a problem because return type has to be first. Oh, you know what? It's also going to be an issue because it's, oh, I thought that would complain because the params is string and return type is string, so it's going to be a little confused about maybe what is what, but maybe the compiler just knows that this is the return type, whatever the first one I pass in is. That's cool. So I'm gonna paste, oops, did not mean to do a build. Okay, so let's see, I'm gonna do string builder dot clear, string builder dot append, and I'm going to do, oh yeah, thanks for that, thanks. IDE just decided to select something else. Okay, So the first thing to do is for each param, I guess. So I need to do a new function, and I need the little bracket thing there. So now I need to do for each string, item, and types, and I shouldn't be doing I can't put the comma after every single one of them because the return type is going on the end. So I'm gonna do string builder dot append. It is going to be item, comma, space. And then I need to add on the return type and then the closing bit. So it's going to be return type. And then the closing bracket. And I mean, that's it, I believe. Return string builder dot toString. That should create like over here. That should create this part right here. Let's save that. Yeah, what's up, Ron? All right, so now we're going to do plus new code builder, sorry, dot create function, and return type is going to be native constants dot boolean, and the parameters are going to be this. No, sorry, it has to be the writer first. And then it's going to be type full name, and again, type full name. I shouldn't have deleted. Should have. There we go. I don't have a backup yet. All right, so that's adding that onto it. And now I need to actually add on the. Again, this is still just temporary code, but now I need to actually add on the method call. No, that's not intentional. That was an oversight. That has a priority on the bugs, but the Delta stuff comes first. Like that's the Delta serializers are the utmost priority. But the try-swan thing, the order has to be. I think I could have sworn I fixed it to call, maybe a few releases ago, but there's still a request for a change where the read payload comes first before it's called, and right now the read payload comes after. But that's going to require a bit of a little bit more work. So that change is on hold currently, but it is 100% like a high priority after the Delta serializers. Okay, so now this needs to be the method. CSM method name. All right, let's see if that is right. Writer. And breaking things. Okay. Oh, I forgot the other bit. That's fine. The under constant. There we go. That. Okay, yeah, I mean that could still be a problem. Do me a favor and file a bug report, just so I can take a look at it, or remember to take a look at it rather. Oh, there was an error, but I looked away. Well, there's no closing bracket. That's probably why. I should do these. Oh, I broke something. Now it says unexpected. It says put one in, and it says take one out. Okay. Well. Oh, that was my bad. Again, I was looking at my chat while I was typing, and that just totally like screwed up the code. So let's go over here. All right, cool. All right, thanks, Ron. I'll take a look at it, sure. Depending on how serious it is, it might get an update rather quickly. Otherwise, it'll probably get updated with the Delta stuff. Just depends. But it should be calling. Like it was out of order. The aunt, sorry, something went on outside in front of me. It should be calling either way. Now the order right now is the read payload comes after, and that should be before. That was more of an oversight than anything. It's not really a bug. It's just something we didn't really think to implement. But yeah, it should absolutely still be calling. Okay, so let's do private string create generic delta writer. No, let's do create initialize method body. Or type. Okay. I still don't know if I like this. They initialize function. I want that. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. String builder SB equals new. Someone's mowing their lawn, and I don't know if you guys can hear it with Mike, but it reminded me that I need to also mow my lawn. So maybe my R&R after I wrap this up will just be doing yard work. Because, you know, who doesn't enjoy doing yard work in presumably what is probably like plus 90 degrees right now? But yeah, okay. So first thing we need to do is I need this. This is going to be the easiest way to do it. Aha. Okay, just about. SB.append. Oh, I need the indents too. Well, it should always be the same indent, I would think. I'm going to add it in anyway. And need to add in this bit. What did I do? Oh, I don't have a constant for the class name yet. So I need to go up here and just go to my fishnet constants. Where are you? Fishnet, I just saw you. Just saw you. You know, I might have it open. I don't. There you go. Like I saw it, and then I skimmed it and gone. Ryder did this to my freaking code, and it very annoying. Include serialization class. Oh, see, that's how I commented it before, so that's how I should do it. Okay. Let's go back to that. Fishnet constants, and I needed one for the right one. It's gonna be under. I don't know if I want it under delta serializing or writer. I'm gonna say delta serializing. Public const string. Generic delta serializer full name equals fishnet. Should be serializing namespace. There we go. Dot generic delta serializer. I want to say what it is. So this is just gonna be generic delta writer. Oh my god. Generic delta writer class. I'm definitely going to sleep a little bit in a day. Like, I am done. Like, I am so tired. As I was saying, though, JetBrains did this. My freaking spacing. Don't like it. Okay. So we need to add in the fishnet constants dot generic delta writer full name, and I need to add in the DSM dot DSM. Why is it not DSM? Oh, DSM dot type full name closing bracket dot I need this set right too. Okay. I don't actually need this per se, but I could just do always good to break it down, I suppose. I mean, you can if you want. As far as the issue goes, you can upload. Just make sure it is using our bug report guidelines. Like, don't include fishnet in the upload. Strip it down as much as you can. Of course, looks like you already did that. And make sure it's in its own folder. But you can upload it if you're comfortable uploading it. I feel like this is probably a problem I'll be able to replicate pretty easily, but just in case I'm not able to, having the project definitely can help speed up bug reports, or bug resolutions rather. You'd be surprised, like 90% of the work of a bug report is usually just trying to replicate the damn thing. So having those projects goes a really, really far way when I can't replicate it. Okay, so I just need... you know what? Yeah, I actually need the name separate. Delta writer dot set write method. Not set read. This is the read one. I don't know if I use full name for like method names and stuff. Apparently. Yeah, so I don't actually use this stuff. Okay, I see, I see. I haven't worked on the Kojin part for quite a while, and I have admittedly forgotten some of the name conventions I've used. But I don't want to end up with all my code being complete. Like if it's all the same convention, when I do actually have to work in it, it'd be a lot easier to actually find stuff and use the right stuff. Oh, it's not supposed to say method name there. That's redundant in this sense anyway. Oh, come on. Here we go. Generic writer dot set write method. There we go. All right. So this is generic delta. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Delta. Sorry, excuse my French. Delta serializer type dot set write this bit here, and then I need to append the function sb dot append and same indent, and it should be this one right here. Put that there. And sb.append. I just need to basically close it off. And that should be it. So let me go ahead and return that. And let me indent is initialize indent, but I want a +1 because it's going to space it out, and I'm just going to pass in the DSM, and hopefully I'd say get it right first try, but that's not how today's been. So it looks like I probably did this where I meant to do that. Right, that was so descriptive. I did this when I meant to do that. Okay, that's not that bad. That was a very, very, very small mistake. Oh. Again, that's a really small mistake. That's just cosmetic. I don't need the indent when doing this. It's just the very beginning that needs it. Cool. Okay. Just gonna double check the code, although it would have thrown if it was wrong, but we're gonna double check it. Sweet. Great, we are good to go. Creates a call to the generic write set write method for delta serializers. I'm just gonna say set method to the generic yeah, the bug reports, like half the battle is really just knowing what the report is actually about. Or knowing how to solve it, or not really solve it, but just replicate it. I mean, this code is so complex, so very rarely can you just get a bug report without any examples and whatnot and be like, oh, yeah, I can replicate that. That's rarely the case. All right. Double checking everything. I don't see any issues with that. All right, so like the first half of this video was me being what the heck, because I totally forgot it wasn't matching the function, because I totally forgot that the return type has to be the last argument or parameter, rather, either or, in the when you're making a new function. So that was solved, and it was pretty easy from there. Now that I have this though for the generic delta writer, I can do the generic delta readers in honestly probably like 5-10 minutes tops. I already have basically already have the layout for it. I already have most of the code generation for it right here. Should be really easy to do. I can quite possibly even reuse this, but I'll have to see how similar it actually is whenever I get to it. But yeah, that was building the register methods, which is, you don't really see this inside Fishnet because it's done by IL CodeGen. But whenever you have generated writers or readers, or even if you have ones that you've made, this namespace and these classes are generated, and it adds a runtime initialize on load method that cool that registers the methods that were generated and or you created, and basically it calls the generic writer of the type, which you can actually access that. You can see the generic writer of the type, set right, and so on. And the actual Fishnet part of that is, it is not actually used all that often per se. I mean, it's used, but let me just show you. So if I go to the generic reader, for example, you saw that it's registering all of these. But the thing is to use these, you have to, of course, call, generic reader key.read, etc. And that itself is not much of an overhead, but the thing is as a developer, you're not calling the generic reader part. You're calling the reader r equals new. You're calling reader.read t, and that has overhead because it is basically it's a redirect. So if I were to go over to this, it has to find the delegate, and then it has to invoke it. And that's a little bit of overhead there. But the CodeGen itself doesn't do that. So that's just if you as a user you were to do like read and then pass in a type, that's when that would be used. But if you, I don't know if I have any examples here. I probably do. Maybe. Let me see. I'm just trying to find an example where it. Yeah, okay, here we go. So this is one that's registered. It's not called generated. That's just something it's shorthanding it to. This is one that's registered for the unload scenes broadcast, and it's calling this, which is another generated method for the unload queue data, but you'll notice it's actually calling the method directly. It's not calling the writer.write key and then passing in a type. So it's skipping that overhead. Yeah. I know a certain framework that does not skip that overhead. So every method call is it has to fetch the method and then invoke it. I'm not going to say names, but I think you guys can guess who. So yeah, that's it for today. That I'm going to do public. I'll probably finish the read up today. I'm going to back this up as well. Just go ahead and do that real quick. I don't need to back up the generated file, but I'm going to anyway. I think there's some old stuff in here I can use, like from the constants I can remove as well. Yeah. Okay. Generic delta writer registration. Added initialize on load method to, what's that class name called? Is it just called new generated? I'll just type in generated writers class. Called generic delta writer added all to set write for each generated delta writer. Actually, I'm going to say delta writer because it is specific in this case. In my notes, I try to keep it generic when possible. Like this creates a call to the set method for generic serializers. This is inside the Delta Writer builder, so it's obviously going to be used for the Delta Writer. But I can reuse that comment and reuse the method name for the reader as well. That way I don't have stupid fragmented comments, and it still makes sense as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and commit that. Push it. Cool. Okay, so that's done. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and take off here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm glad I did not go into the 2-hour mark because I did that last time and that was way too long. Yeah, alright, thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.